Sophia, I have to repeat a line 6 times. Do I need to write print statement 6 times? No, you should use loop for that. Loops? What are they? Please tell me about them. Okay, Romy, let us learn about different looping statements used in Python in this chapter. In the previous lesson, we learnt about the operators, their precedence, and conditional statements. In this chapter, we will learn about the loops, iterative statements used in Python. There are some times when we need to run the same code again and again. In such a condition, loops are used in a program to avoid rewriting the same code. Looping statements. A loop consists of a set of statements that need to be repeated a number of times. Let us learn about the advantages and structure of loops. Looping statement is also known as iterative statement. Advantages of loops. A loop simplifies a complex code and makes it small, as we do not need to rewrite the same piece of code. We can use the same piece of code repeatedly for a finite number of times. Loops provide the feature of code reusability. Structure of a looping statement. A loop consists of the following parts. Initialization statement. This statement initializes the counter, which is the loop control variable. The counter variable controls the number of times the loop is executed. Test condition. This statement is used to check the condition and moves the program control to the corresponding statement to be executed. Body of the loop. This block contains statements that need to be executed repeatedly. Update statement. This statement is used to change, increase or decrease the value of the counter variable. By default, the counter variable increments by 1. A user can increase or decrease the value as required. There are two types of loop constructs in Python, that is while loop and for loop. Let us learn each of these loops in detail. The while loop. A while loop executes a block of statements as long as the condition is true, and when the condition becomes false, the control will move out of the loop. The condition is checked every time at the beginning of the loop. The following is the syntax of while loop. While conditional expression statements. The expression should be any valid Python expression resulting as true or false. The structure of while loop is as follows. Check the condition, execute the code in the block, iterate the loop by incrementing or decrementing the control variable. Example 1. Program to print the first 10 natural numbers. I is equal to 1, while I less than equal to 10, print I is equal to I plus 1. Output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In the given program, let's see the functionality of the program. Step 1. Initialize the variable I to 1. Step 2. Check the condition whether I is less than equal to 10. Step 3. If I is less than equal to 10, print the value of I as 1. Step 4. Increment the value of I by 1. Now, the value of I is 2. Step 5. This process will continue till the value of I is less than and equal to 10. The loop will terminate when the value of I is more than 10. Example 2. Program to print the square of first 5 natural numbers. I is equal to 1, while I is less than equal to 5. Print I multiplied by I is equal to I plus 1. Output 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. In the above program, let's see the functionality of the program. Step 1. Initialize the variable I to 1. Step 2. Check the condition whether I is less than equal to 5. Step 3. If I is less than equal to 5, print the value as 1 multiplied by 1, which is equal to 1. Step 4. Increment the value of I by 1. Now the value of I is 2. Step 5. This process will continue till the value of I is less than and equal to 5. The loop will terminate when the value of I is more than 5. Example 3. Program to print the table of a number. N is equal to integer. Input, enter a number in double quotes with parentheses. I is equal to 1. While I is equal to less than equal to 10, print n, comma multiplication symbol, comma I, comma equal to symbol, comma n multiplied by I is equal to I plus 1. Output, enter a number 3. 3 into 1 is equal to 3. 3 into 2 is equal to 6. 3 into 3 is equal to 9. 3 into 4 is equal to 12. 3 into 5 is equal to 15. 3 into 6 is equal to 18. 3 into 7 is equal to 21. 3 into 8 is equal to 24. 3 into 9 is equal to 27. 3 into 10 is equal to 30. Infinite loop. As the name suggests, the infinite loop is a loop that never ends. For example, in case of a while loop, if the condition of the loop is always true, the loop will never terminate and will continue to run forever. Example 4. Program of an infinite loop. I is equal to 2, while I is greater than 1, print I is equal to I plus 1. Output 506, 507, 508, 509, 510, 511, 512, 513, 514, 515, 516. The for loop. The while loop executes till the time a given condition is true, whereas the for loop executes a statement or a group of statements for a fixed number of times. The for loop takes a counter variable along with the range. The range function takes the minimum and the maximum range. By default, the for loop always increments by 1. The following is the syntax for the for loop. For iterative underscore variable in sequence statements. The structure of for loop is as follows. The expression is evaluated first if a sequence contains an expression. The first item is assigned to iterative underscore variable in a sequence. The statement block will be executed once. The second item is assigned to iterative variable in the sequence. The statement block will be executed second time. Each item in the list is assigned to iterative variable and the statements block is executed until the entire sequence is exhausted. The for loop with in. Example 5. Program to print the letters in a word. For I in computer, colon, print current letter in double quotes, comma I. Output, current letter, colon C, current letter, colon O, current letter, colon M, current letter, colon P, current letter, colon U, current letter, colon T, current letter, colon E, current letter, colon R. In the above program, every time when value true is returned by the operator, a new value is assigned to variable I. This process is repeated and the loop is executed until the last value is assigned. After assigning all the values, program will come out of the loop. The for loop with range function. The range function in Python generates the numbers from 0 to n-1. For example, if the range is 5, then the output will be from 0 to 4. The following is the syntax of the for loop with range function. For iterative variable in range, start, comma, stop, comma, step, underscore size. Statements. At the start, any number can be passed from where the sequence must begin. At the stop, any number can be passed on which the sequence must stop, but it has to be kept in mind that the sequence always stops at 1 less than the stop value. For example, the range 1, 5 will generate numbers from 1 to 4 iterations. The skipping steps are defined by the step size. It is optional. By default, the step size is 1. Example 6. Program to print numbers from 0 to 10. For I in range 11, print I in double quotes. Output 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here the initial value of I is assigned 0 and is incremented by 1 till 10 and is terminated at 11. Example 7. Program to print the square of the numbers. For I in range 10, 20, print I multiplied by I. Output 100, 121, 144, 169, 196, 225, 256, 289, 324, 361. Here, the initial value of I is assigned 10 and the output is 10 multiplied by 10, which is equal to 100. The value of I is incremented by 1 till 20 and is terminated at 20. Example 8. Program to print the even numbers from 2 to 20. For I in range 2, 22, 2, print I. Output 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Here the initial value of I is assigned 2 and the value of I is printed. The value of I is incremented by 2 till 22 and is terminated at 22. We can also use the range function without for loop. It will return either true or false. Example 9. Program to check whether the given number lies in the range or not. X is equal to 20. Print X in range 10, 30. Output true. Here the value of X lies in the range 10 to 30, so the return value is true. Strings in Python. Strings are the sequence of characters and the characters are the symbols. The computer does not understand symbols, so it deals with 0 and 1. The conversion of characters to numbers is called encoding and vice versa, which is called decoding. There are two most popular encoding methods that are ASCII and Unicode. So, in Python, strings are the sequence of Unicode characters. Some string methods are built in the Python library, which help to work on strings efficiently. Let us learn about them. Count. This function counts the number of times a specified string appears in the string. Syntax is equal to string1 is equal to string2 dot count. String needs to be searched. Example 10. Program using count function. String is equal to Python is a very easy language. I love to learn Python in double quotes. A is equal to string.count, Python in double quotes, print A. Output 2. Capitalize. It converts the first letter of string to uppercase in the string. Syntax string2 is equal to string1 dot capitalize. Example 11. Program using capitalize function. Name is equal to Himanshu Gupta in double quotes. X is equal to name dot capitalize. Print X. Output is Himanshu Gupta. Replace. This function replaces a specified string with another specified string. It replaces all the occurrences of that string in another string if nothing is specified. Syntax string.replace old value, new value, count. The occurrence of the old value we want to replace can be specified in count. By default, it replaces all the occurrences. Example 12. Program using replace function. String1 is equal to Python is a very easy language. I love to learn Python. A is equal to string1 dot replace Python, scratch in double quotes, print A. Output is, Scratch is a very easy language. I love to learn Scratch. Upper. This function converts the lowercase characters into uppercase, if any, in the string. Syntax, string.upper. Example 13. Program using upper function. Name is equal to Himanshu Gupta. X is equal to name.upper. Print X. Output is Himanshu Gupta. Lower. This function converts the uppercase characters into lowercase, if any, in the string. Syntax, string.lower. Example 14. Program using lower function. Name is equal to Himanshu Gupta in double quotes. X is equal to name.lower. Print X. Output is Himanshu Gupta with all letters in small. Dictionary. Infinite loop. A loop that never ends. Program. A set of step-by-step instructions. Let's refresh. A loop consists of a set of statements that need to be repeated a number of times. Loop executes as long as the condition is true. There are two types of loop constructs in Python, that is, while loop and for loop. A while loop in Python repeatedly executes a block of statements as long as the condition is true. An infinite loop is a loop that never ends. The for loop executes a statement or group of statements for a fixed number of times. Range function in Python generates the numbers 0 to n-1. For example, range 5 will give the numbers from 0 to 4 as output. Strings are the sequence of characters and the characters are the symbols.